Alright, welcome back. You know what I forgot to do before starting last time? I forgot to do this. So, might as well. Um, but yes, welcome back. He's still giving me the dots for ending the episode early, but whatever. It's gonna be the final showdown here. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable. I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory. No better than a tangled ball of wires. I've had them untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only person who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see, X2. But then, let me ask you, do you have any proof that Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? Well, no, but at the same time, Apollo couldn't have written it because, like I pointed out earlier, Apollo didn't bleed too much, hence why he didn't die. And, secondly, couldn't you, get that, like I said in the last video, couldn't you get the blood, a sample of the blood, and get some DNA on it? The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the DNA. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. We know whose it is. It will be obvious as to who wrote that message. Don't be hiding behind your mask. There's no way to hide your way out of this one. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It will be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. Yeah, you're saying that now until the DNA comes back. Should be just a little bit of Apollo in there, but mostly Detective Arms. After the explosion. I admit, I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. But there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from the bloody message, from where the bloody message was found. You could have moved her body for all we know. So you're saying the victim's body was nowhere near the writing, where the writing was? Precisely. It is as plain as day as that she could have not written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there is blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. I'm not quite I'm not in the quite believing of that mood yet.
I see. All right then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? I admit I was the first one on the scene after...
Hold it! Why were you the first person on the scene?
To secure the area. It is regulation for a bomb disposal specialist to enter first.
What? What?
I'm pretty sure it would be... I think it's pretty much anyone that has to do with the police to enter first.
In other words, you had the opportunity after the bloody writing then, didn't you?
Well, ... Mr. Wright, please don't interrupt. Mr. Tonate is about to give testimony that will show just how wrong your reasoning is.
Darn, I think he was just about to say something interesting too.
When I went in and saw the aftermath, well, it was quite the disaster. But there was no bloody writing there at the time.
Oh, wait. Wait. Stop touching the buttons and hold it! Quit touching the buttons, Luke! You were able to tell this even with those goggles on?
With these goggles, there is no way I could have missed something like that. I can see quite well with them. In fact, I can see every hair on your spiky head. Oh, you have a few grays, Mr. Wright.
What?
Poor Mr. Wright. You're always working so hard, keeping our office together.
Wait a minute! I don't have any gray hairs! What the heck are you talking about? I'm like, what? 30-something?
Okay, maybe I could.
I mean, I have a few gray hairs growing on my sideburns, so...
Just kidding.
Objection! I object to the witness's attempt to prematurely give me gray hair! Mr. Tonate, this court frowns upon untoward comments on a person's hair, or lack thereof.
I'm sensing a great sorrow coming from the judge. My apologies, Your Honor. May I please continue my testimony? Anyway, there is no way Detective Arm could have written...
Hold it! Hold it. Wait 1 second. If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did?
The one that they're accusing. Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods. A final message from your poor subordinate.
Poor Mr. Justice. I'm starting to get all misty-eyed. Apollo is not dead, folks. He's alive and well. Well, not well, but in the hospital, so he's alive.
So how can you be so sure it wasn't Detective Arm who wrote the message? It is very simple.
Next part of the testimony.
She had struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance.
Hold it! Hold it!
Do you imagine she was thrown back by the force of the blast? A bomb can inflict damage not only from the explosion itself, but also substantial secondary damage from the blast wind. Yes. Whenever an explosion happens, sure, there's an explosion, but then there's also, I don't know how to explain it. Pretty much a force from the explosion, kind of like the like a nuclear blast. You know how whenever you've seen it on like movies or something like that, explosion, whoosh, and then the explosion causes the wind or whatever that is really forceful. That's what he's talking about. Detective Arm unfortunately hit her head on some rubble from the blast. It's stated in her autopsy report as well. Cause of death, trauma to the back of the head. Ah, the autopsy report. I'd better take another look at that. Now do you see? Detective Arm could not have written that message. The reason for that being, she was too far away from the where the bloody message was found. Hold it. Let me see this autopsy again. Wait. That's not flat. That's sharp. Hold it. Hold it. Objection! You are a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. I'm just kind of pointing that out. You dare give me 3 question marks? Not 1, not 2, but 3? With dots from before the question marks? Seriously? Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes? What about it? Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed! Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. Why does everyone make fun of my hair? That's what Phoenix is thinking. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means that the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body? That's what I said in the beginning. I mean, he was the first one there, so he didn't have time to move, get rid of the bloodstain or whatever. So had to move the body. As well as move the cart. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location. Most likely on the floor. Or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message. Your Honor! I have the results of the bloodstain analysis! Ah, very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood after all. And, as the defense claims, only the parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood.
it would appear that the defense's assertion of everything so far is correct after all.
Yes, you did it! You were right, boss!
Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Mr. Tonate, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself.
Fine. I will confess.
Ooh, a confession. Ooh. You will? But then, why are you so calm?
This time, I will tell the truth.
Wait, what?
What?
The truth. Okay.
It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked.
Then why did you put it Woods? Wait.
But I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber.
What?
Not wanting to be accused, I moved the bomb body and covered the writing. My bad.
What? What? Kind of confession is that? That's a horrible confession. I see. It is your assertion that you merely moved the body. Is that it?
That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm.
Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute! That in and of itself is a criminal act! Glad you finally came across that finish line, Your Honor. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. That's all you have to say. Whatever. Whatever. Cross-examine time.
Okay. It is the truth that Detective Arm wrote my ID.
Hold it! Wait. So you admit that you actually did see the bloody writing that Detective Arm left?
My bad. I should have said so from the outset.
Really? Really? And you are sure it was your ID number?
I am sure it was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well.
So those funky things were provided by the police department?
Although these are special goggles customized by me personally.
Speaking of personalized, these sunglasses of mine were custom made as well! As well as my hair. They were specially created to be particularly dark and shiny and gold frames. Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany and was custom made as well. What is this, show and tell? It was specially created to make a particularly loud and resounding sound. Seriously. Wish I had something to brag about. Be all as it may, I just want to reconfirm you saw the bloody writing clearly, and that it was your ID number.
That is correct. My ID number was written in blood on the floor. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked.
Hold it! Hold it. L10015R? And it was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom?
Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that sent me into panic.
Sounds like you were in quite a tizzy. Seriously, a tizzy?
If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. I can't imagine coming across the message, "Sykes," written in blood.
If I saw gasp in pain written in blood, I'd certainly make a gasp myself. Rest assured, Mr. Tonate, I understand how you must have felt.
And so you discovered your ID number written in blood at the scene, and...
That is right. I saw it with my own eyes. It very clearly said L10015R.
Anytime I see him with that glare,
It's like a hee.
look.
But I did not detonate the bomb.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it. Hold it right there. Didn't you? The victim may have had special knowledge of who the bomber was.
I have no idea what thoughts Detective Arm may have had inside her head. It is not like I have ever dismantled her mind to check. Just this bomb.
Mr. Wright, if you have suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in a court of law. How many years have you been a defense attorney now?
Over 10. Cut me some slack, will you?
Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back, after all.
Wait, what? I guess that's true. I don't know how long it's been, technically. I don't know how old Phoenix is, because court record doesn't show the profile of Phoenix Wright for some reason.
In that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? I suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist. Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony. Please.
With pleasure. My ID number was left at the scene, but Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber.
Hold it. I'm just pressing these for fun now because I kind of know to press the last one at least. If not, show evidence for the last one. By mistaken, do you mean you had nothing to do with the explosion?
That is correct. That is why I was so shocked when I saw my ID number.
The victim may have suspected Mr. Tonate for no reason other than the fact that, as the bomb specialist, he was in charge of the bomb. In other words, a false accusation! It's vocational discrimination, I say!
I do not support discrimination of any kind.
Well spoken, Your Honor! If the victim had been found to be killed with a gavel, Mr. Blue Suit over there probably would have pinned the crime on you!
He would? Well, That just wouldn't do! Mr. Wright, if you dare try to pin anything on me, I will find you in contempt of court!
But I've never even tried to harm a hair on, a strand of your beard, Your Honor!
Well said, Mr. Payne. Because I am so closely associated with bombs. I was afraid I would be prosecuted if anyone saw the bloody writing.
Yeah, okay.
Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and the covered writing. My bad.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! You didn't clean away the bloody writing?
I didn't have time. By the time I found the message, the blood was already dry. The police were waiting just outside for me to secure the room. And I still had to move the body. I was in a panic. Sweat, sweat, sweat. With no time to spare, I temporarily covered the writing with my case.
Didn't you think the police would find it during their investigation?
Regulation stipulates only specialists may touch transport cases, meaning no one is allowed to touch my case. It's mine, my case, mine, mine, mine. Because of the danger, you see. I thought I would clean up the writing once they were finished. My bad.
Yes, you're bad. My bad? Does he really think that will just magically smooth everything over? This guy is something else. And I don't believe Detective Arm's dying message was just some mistake. He won't wriggle out of this that easily. What did Mr. Tonate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There has to be a contradiction hidden in his testimony somewhere. Okay, this is the part where I get confused. Okay. Courtroom number 4 diagram. No. No. What do we got here? Age 23, wow. Let me check this out real quick. She very plainly wrote, she was shocked. I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Let me save it right here real quick, just in case. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. But I did not detonate the bomb. Wait. Okay, this is kind of. Let me just think about this for a second. Let me just think about this for a sec.